All right. And then I'm gonna download the file again one more time just so it pops up right away there. So if give me a thumbs up or something if you guys see a file pop into the chat screen if you're looking at it. Cool. Thanks, Courtney. Okay. So I'm gonna share my screen and pop up some pictures as I talk through kind of what we're seeing in the markets and the economy right now. So this is our first time doing this too, so hang in there with us. That's not what I wanted. Worked earlier. There we go. All right. So been an interesting 6 weeks, obviously, and I'm guessing a few of you have seen some of the videos that I've been doing up to this point and the emails that we've been sending out on what we see happening. Obviously, the virus and then ultimately the shutdown related to the virus has had a pretty massive impact on the markets. While we've seen some recovery in that recently, the economic data is what's really to come and what we're starting to see come out. And so as you see on the screen here, this is now showing in the middle here, 22 million new unemployment claims in the last 4 weeks. And just to give some perspective, since 2009, the economy's created 22.4 million in new jobs. And in the last Great Recession in 08, 09, we lost 8.7 million. So in 4 weeks, we've already lost 2.5 times the total number of jobs we lost through the 2008, 2009 crisis. So it's nice to see the market coming back up. Obviously I hope it stays there, but my gut right now is that there's a lot of continued data that's going to come out that's going to look like this. And so we do, expect to see some volatility to come. There's another chart to put it in a different perspective, kind of from 08, looking at the weekly unemployment claims. And you just see this just obviously drastic jump here in the last 4 weeks at the very end. It's just unlike anything that we've ever seen. I like this chart that I found yesterday or this morning, but it just takes a look at another factor, obviously economic related, and that's retail sales. And what we did is we took out the grocery store sales. So it's retail sales ex grocery stores. Obviously, grocery stores are doing pretty good right now in terms of just volume. And if you look at just what's happened in the last few weeks, in the last month, we've lost 13.2% in retail sales year over year. And if we go back and compare that from all the way from November 2007 to March of 2009, so closer to 18 months of time frame, in that 18 months, we went down 14.6%. So pretty much we've lost as much retail sales in 4 weeks as we did during the entire Great Recession from 08 to 09. And then the last one I'll pop up here is just industrial production and what we've seen in that in the last month as well. So, obviously looked pretty good over the last number of years. And then this just massive drop here at the very end. So again, we're, optimistic, about the future, long term, but short term, we just have a sense that there's just more to come in all of this. And while we obviously hope the market continues to be steady, our view of it right now is to remain cautious. And that's how we're managing the portfolios right now, is in a pretty cautious way. We just anticipate there may be more volatility to come here in the near future. And if that changes, if we get a long period of data that is looking better than that, then obviously we'll adjust from there. But right now we're going to remain pretty cautious at this point. So that's kind of my my quick 2 or 3 minutes on what we're seeing this week. If you've seen the videos, we've kind of kept you pretty updated along the way. The unemployment number was from today. We had another 5.2 million today. At the end of the day, we got some maybe better news that's come out in terms of some trials around some of the drugs that are out there. And so the market did go up a little bit today. And also some of the states are beginning to announce, how they're going to reopen their economies. I guess my concern on some of that is as we get more details on what some of these openings look like, the conditions they're putting on how the economies will get opened up still appears to me like, we're still a long ways away from things getting back to normal. So that's my view on the economy and the market. So if there's any questions, I'm going to unmute everybody. risk that and open it up for any questions if you guys have anything.
Yeah, Homer.
Yeah.
With all of the unemployment checks and everything going on, what's your view on being in bonds now, in state and municipal bonds?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think probably if you asked me that a few weeks ago, I'd probably be a little bit more concerned on the short term. I think long term, everything right now, the amount of money printing going on is concerning. And so I think all debt, we're a little bit concerned about. But I think short term, the way that the Fed has basically come in and made very clear that they're having the entire economy from a liquidity standpoint right now. We don't have any liquidity concerns when it comes to bonds. And as we've seen, as everything kind of went down in mid-March, typically bonds are a safe haven for that. March, municipal bonds, high yield bonds, everything went down mid-March. So the short term, we feel pretty good about, most, especially on the short term end of things, but right now we feel pretty good about bonds.
That's okay. We can't tell if we're in there. You can't either.
Other questions?
Right there. Oh.
Hey, Barb, you're back.
Hi. You see us?
I can see a picture of Barb.
She's not moving?
No, you gotta click the there's a video button in the bottom left that you gotta click on. That'll pop you in.
Bottom left here. We see you.
On top right.
Here you are.
There she is.
Hey.
Hey, all right.
All right. So yeah, any just before we switch it over, any the market or economic questions?
Over. Oh.
Mike, are you trying to talk?
Yeah. So can we have our money back?
Yeah. Well, you gotta hire me first, Mike.
Oh. Ooh, that was a good one. I think my guy.
Yeah.
Hey, Homer, I have a question. This is Clint. Are you going to be looking at more individual stocks for portfolios than you have in the past during this time? Is that part of the strategy?
Yeah, and so that's obviously most of what we do, as all of you know, being in our portfolios, is we for the most part manage money through our models, and we use a lot of data around market volatility and economic data to do that. But on a client-by-client basis, and a few of you we've talked to through this process, who are on the more aggressive end of things and are willing to take some risks in the market, we are looking at individual equities more than we ever have, but we probably won't. Those won't make it into our general models. So that's going to be more on a client-by-client. Those that are more aggressive and willing to take risks, we are starting to create a list of areas that we think might create some opportunities. And we'll do that on a client-by-client basis. But yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What was the first one?
Well, and obviously at the end, at any point, I can jump in if you've got any investment or economic related questions. But I kind of assume most of you were here for Val anyway, and so I was just kind of.
Funny guys.
But we'll be here at the end as well. And for those of you who just joined, who might have missed at the beginning, in the bottom of your screen, there's a chat button. Go ahead, and you'll see that there's a recipe link there as well. So you can get all the recipes from Val today. So I guess one other question before I turn it over to Val is, for those of you who have been watching the videos and making some of the blog posts, and for those of you who haven't seen them and watched them, my feelings aren't hurt. Is there anything else that you guys would feel that would be valuable that I included as I think about what I'm putting into those videos on a weekly basis or in the blog post?
More emotional fluctuation in your voice. When you less monotone.
Yeah.
Buy Amazon. Everything else is
Netflix.
Investment guarantee. Yeah, and yeah, feel free to give me any feedback if you guys got any ideas on what would help you guys with videos. And I am getting better, hopefully, and they'll be a little bit more entertaining. Hopefully.
Is Val doing to go for these recipes? If we just drive up to your house, will she bring out a bag to the car?
Oh, heck, love to.
That's a great idea.
That is a
Yeah.
good idea.
Be there in 3 days.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. All right. Well, at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Val and pop her stuff up. So a lot of you have met Val and have seen Val and have tasted Val's cooking, and it just, as thinking about, what's going on, and we're all stuck at home, and probably more food is in the last few weeks might be typical, and want to keep you healthy. That's the most important thing right now, is that we stay healthy and be around for a while. So I wanted to have Val on, because that's kind of her focus with her cooking, is cooking healthy but making it taste really, really, really good. That's what I wanted to highlight today, is 3 awesome meals that we have pretty often in our family, and things that our kids love, I love. And so with that, I'm gonna turn it over to Val, and I'll let you get started, and I'll pop up the pictures that you can talk them through.
Awesome. So all of these are pretty much one pot dishes, which is really convenient. Looks like we're going to start with the Bolognese, or my version of a Bolognese. Let's see. So just a couple pictures here. That's fresh pasta, but you don't have to do that. You can really top it on anything. I use any kind of ground meat works in this recipe as well. Any kind of large can of tomatoes, crushed tomatoes. It's a really simple step-by-step recipe. And the cool thing about this one too is that all the veggies are already in there. So for grandkids or anyone concerned, to get the whole balanced meal, you have your carrots and celery already in the mix. And then just depending on what kind of ground meat you use, you can do a combo. But it's a real simple put together kind of meal.
So before Val gets into the making of it, I just wanted to mention, I muted you all again, just to keep the background volume down. But if you have any questions as we go through, just click your microphone button on the Zoom, and feel free to jump in and ask any questions along the way, and I'll kind of keep the pictures rolling here.
So this is just a picture of some of the ingredients, just to lay it out for you. Pretty simple. And you can omit or add any kind of seasoning, of course. But it's basically kind of chop all that stuff together and cook the veggies down for a little while, and then add the ground meat in. And then add the tomatoes. And this is something that's so easy to freeze too. You can just have this, make a big batch and have it in your freezer. That's kind of the size of that one.
And it's nice too, because if you're trying to eat super, super healthy, then you throw in zucchini noodles in there, or spaghetti squash is something I do a lot. Val makes it for me, and instead of using regular pasta, we use a lot of spaghetti squash. That's another easy way.
And at the store, there is already spiralized zucchini. If you're looking where your mushrooms are, usually they have already pre-chopped veggies. Actually, even a lot of times they have onions, celery, and carrots already chopped in a bundle for you too. So if you're looking for going no pasta, you can put that sauce right on those zucchini noodles. And so it's super versatile.
So one major advantage of preparing for this is I've got to be trying all of this stuff in the last week, as Val's been kind of prepping and getting all the pictures done for this. So I'm not gaining any weight, so you can tell it's healthy, right? All right. So next up, this is a family favorite, and I really wanted this one to be a part of this. And our niece is in town with us right now as well, Addie, and she's from California, but staying with us during the lockdown. And these are named Val's, Auntie Val's Burgers. And it was Addie that kind of coined that with her. So yeah.
Yeah. So this is actually another client and family favorite. And it's super versatile as well. Same thing, using any kind of ground meats, but here I used ground turkey and ground chicken sausage. And the best kind of flavored chicken sausage is an herb one to go with this. But also you can use, like, I know chicken apple sausage is sort of a popular one. And then I just thought of yesterday, like, you can throw a good like blue cheese or gorgonzola on that, and that would probably be pretty fantastic. So yeah, you can use fresh onions, which I did here, or you can just stick to the powders, the garlic powder, onion powder, thinking about, all the ground meat that we have right now stored in our freezers, and then all of our spices. So thinking of utilizing those types of things. Can you zoom it one more ahead? If you don't use the onions, you just put it in a big bowl. So that's the ground chicken sausage on top of the turkey, which I used. But again, you can use ground beef, ground pork, like any combo of those. 1 egg to bind, and then make them into patties. And this mix makes 6 patties. So either cook them and freeze them, or, reserve half of the mix and freeze it. Or actually, you can reserve half of the mix and then throw it in just plain marinara sauce and make a meat sauce. So another super versatile recipe. But yeah, as burgers, I mean, you just put on your favorite toppings, and like, we just can eat off these for days. And thankfully the girls like love them. And and then here we go, the sides. These are my crispy potatoes that I like to call French fried potatoes.
Although they're not fried.
They're right. But they're like French fries. That's what I tell the girls. But they love them too. And these are rarely in the fridge for leftovers, because they're so easy to just pick off the pan and just pound them. But the secret to this is that dark pan cooking them on. I did include in the recipe that, you cook them for a good 15 minutes before, take them out, and then salt them. So you don't salt them at the beginning. Salt removes the moisture ahead of time. So salting it after is what really is just the key. And then you end up with these just perfectly crisp, and you get the little crispy pieces, and we kind of like fight for them like when they get out of the oven. So it's a really yummy side dish to have with them, and with kind of anything that you're making. So that's that one.
So that's how they come out
Another
of the oven.
view, yes. And that's any topping. Oh, another little that I just saw. A mix that I like to use is like about a little bit of Dijon mustard mixed into your favorite barbecue sauce with a little salt and pepper, and stir it all together, is a brilliant topping for these two. And we cook a lot of bacon on it, and then you see avocado, and yeah, just all your favorite fixings for a burger. Can be super tasty. Make it your own.
And then this next one is one of my favorites. I think I had it for lunch today. But something that, Val just started making, 4 or 5 years ago, just kind of a one pot, easy meal.
Yeah.
And it's just turned into, again, a family favorite and a friend favorite as they come over. So, yeah.
Yeah. So this one, you can really choose what veggies you love the best. Oh, this is a hash. Oh, thanks. This is a hash, and I use chicken sausage in this one. But again, you can add even just cooked chicken, or steak even.
Bacon.
Bacon is a good one. Bacon to everything. I mean, really. So this one was pretty heavy on the cauliflower, but as you can see, there's sweet potatoes, zucchini, potatoes, cauliflower, but it's a good way to get these important veggies and important vitamins that we all need, especially now. And with kids, like, seriously, if you add bacon, like, it all just kind of mushes together. You can even chop the cauliflower smaller and the zucchini smaller, so you can really hide it. but it all just mixes together. Another tip for this one that I didn't include in the recipe is to add a little broth to the mix. The cauliflower and the potatoes take just a little longer to cook in the pan if you have it kind of on medium high. So that way it kind of softens together. And this is phenomenal with a runny egg on top for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Another great one to freeze. You can put it in a wrap, even a tortilla, you know, just to hold it in your hand, which I find that I do for meals many times with a 3-year-old running around.
Yeah, my favorite is the egg on top. It's like my every weekend I'm always hoping there's some hash left over for Saturday or Sunday morning. Throw a couple eggs on top, some hot sauce.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And if you have any extra roasted veggies too, when you're making this, you just throw those in on. So like there's broccoli on this one, but I didn't make the pictures with broccoli. So yeah, you can just kind of add whatever you love the best, and hopefully a little greens. So yeah, I hope you all try it. And obviously if you have any questions, like I'd love to answer.
All right.
Everything fabulous. Everything. I want it all. So
All right. So any questions or just conversation kind of at the end of the presentation part? And for those of you, there's a few of you that have joined in the last little bit here. In the chat function, if you're on the Zoom, there's a chat feature, and we've included the link with all the recipes on it. And then obviously if you don't download it from here, I'll be sending it all out.
recipes.
Coming up pretty soon.
Mhm.
And I'll be on the website too. So on the website, I'll be posting the recording, all the recipes, everything available to you there, and also be a link to our upcoming newsletter next week as well.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Can.
You're making me hungry.
We haven't eaten dinner yet.
Yeah. It really looks good.
Yeah, the nice stuff is most of that stuff is pretty easy to get. You know, it's not details that are hard, or it's not ingredients that are hard to find even right now. So all of those things. And leftovers. I mean, that Val always makes leftovers with cooks for me. So I'm always to lunch or having it as part of breakfast.
I never knew that secret about the salt before, not to put it on right away. That was a really good tip.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's kind of with all veggies, I would say. Like you never salt them first. And I learned that from Ina Garten, actually.
Oh.
Love roasted vegetables. I make them all. So yeah,
do it at the end.
Yep, salt at the end. Season at the beginning, salt at the end. Yeah.
Salt, yeah, it's the beginning.
Yeah.
Cool. Any other questions or ideas or things you guys have been thinking about? How's everybody doing with all this?
We want to thank you because you gave us a reason to get dressed today. Hey, that's huge.
Howard.
Thank you.
At least you got a shirt on.
It was required today. This is really nice. So Val, we will get the recipes via a link. Did you say?
Yes.
Yep. So in the chat of this, there's a link, but if not, otherwise I'll be sending them all out via email, and they'll be on the website within the next couple of days.
And
so you're the only financial advisor I've ever worked with who gives recipe tips and so forth. You're a lucky man.
Yeah.
Homer, do you have any wine pairing suggestions?
Well,
with the meal?
Tonight in particular.
Volume.
What are you drinking tonight? Well,
I want what Mike Whitmore's drinking. He has a really big cup.
Yeah. This is tonight's selection. It might be backwards.
No, it's not.
It's a cool winery called Vines on the Mary Crest in Paso Robles. And this one in particular is a sparkling red wine. It's really cool. You know, it was a beautiful day here in the Northwest. We actually had some.
Where are you now?
We're on our deck.
Your house?
Yeah.
Where?
Just for a couple more months.
That's our view.
Oh, that's Seacliff. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, Seacliff.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's, for all of those, you know, it's kind of like whatever's your fancy, whatever's your favorite. But yeah, tonight is a little. So Victor, who runs Vines on the Mary Crest, I'll actually cook for him. One of the times we were down in Paso Robles, we had them over to the rental house. A meal.
Okay.
Yeah, it's great to see all of you. You know.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, just.
This is a great event, Homer. This is actually more people than your regular dinner.
Yeah. And so next week we'll be doing another one of these next week. We'll invite out pretty shortly, but actually Ian Anderson, who's on the call as well. He's a fitness and wellness coach. So we're going to be talking about, since we're all stuck at home, you know, not only eating healthy, but how do you mentally healthy with some of the challenges that we're all facing. So probably the invite will go out tomorrow or Saturday. So look for that. So we'll do another one of these. You know, this will be fun. You know, I think people like saying hi, and it's nice to see all your faces. So yeah, until we're not stuck at home anymore, I'll probably keep doing these for a little bit. So hope you guys are enjoying it.
Very cool. Enjoyed it. Very nice.
This was really good. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. So long.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you,
Stay
Val.
safe, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Val.
Oh, you fun.